Hello and welcome to my brand new video. I am Emma Purple and welcome to March. So we're in March now, and I'm going to be looking back at February and sharing the things that I have learned. But more accurately, I'm going to be rambling and dragging you guys along with me. I don't usually do this, but I just want to try it out and see how effective it is. Please subscribe. Why should you subscribe? Because this is not an AI channel. Because I come up with my content by myself. I know it's not the best, the camera quality is not crisp, the editing is not top notch, but I'm just a girl, trying to paint the picture of my life on the face of time. There are 1,000,001 YouTube channels out there. There is nothing extraordinary about my life, but I'm just trying to pin what is my life up there in hopes that someone can see and be inspired. So I'm saying all that to say subscribe to my channel if you're feeling generous. And we're in the third month of 2025. February has come and gone, and we're looking at March. And I really like this thing that I do because it makes me to consciously look back and pick out the good things, and it makes me to live my life intentionally. I know that I'm going to write a blog post for April and I'm going to shoot a video for April, and I'm intentionally looking for things of value, things of light, things that glorify God in my life. And so in this new month, I'm going to try to share how February was and what my goal is. I've written a blog post which is in the description, so you can go and read that. So the two words that summarize February 2025 for me was courage and consistency. Not because I was the most courageous and consistent, but because I was not the most courageous and I was very inconsistent. And the month that just passed was a tug of war between me and God to learn how to be courageous, to take a step, and to be consistent. I tried my hand in many things and then I quit halfway through. At the end of the day, it pointed me to reflect on the fact that I cannot do a thing without God, and I need to focus on Him. I need to put my trust in the Lord. Most months, it seems as if it's the same thing. It seems as if the progress is really slow. It seems as if I'm dragging my feet. But one thing that I am doing in this era of my life is celebrating the wins, because it's very easy for us to let the pressure of life press us down. But the fact that you try and then you fail and then you gather your will to try again, that is something worth celebrating. And I am saying this because in the area of cowardice and in the need for me to walk in courage, there was something, a great failure that I went through, a great disappointment. And for 4 years, I could not try again. But I'm so happy that last month in February, I took that first step, and it was not an easy step to take. And I'm not saying it to say, yes, look at me, I am so courageous, but I'm saying it to say that with God's help, even when everything about our will is fighting against the wind, fighting to push through the hardship of life, God can help us, whether it is through thriving or whether it's through taking one unsure step at a time. And I have so much more to talk about February, but I'm trying to limit myself from rambling. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is my writing. I was reading my March post from 2023, and among my goals is I want to publish a quest for Zolem. The day that this book will be published, the book will thank me. My book will open its mouth, it will become sentient and open its mouth and say, thank you for bringing me to life. I never thought I would see the light of day. Every single time I read through my book, A Quest for Zelem, I find more things that I'm correcting. And the funny thing about trying to make it perfect is that sometimes I overdo, and then sometimes to correct it, I underdo, and it's just a tug of war. But at the end of the day, I'm going to try my best and I'll put it out there and leave it in God's hands, because I care so much about the story. To make other people care about my story, I can only do it to a certain extent. So I'm saying all that to say that I initially thought that I would finish everything editing for A Quest for Zelem, but some things came up. Trust me, it's legitimate reasons. It's not just me watching anime and not doing what I have to do. But we are now in chapter 25, which isn't that much progress since last month. But it's 5 more chapters to go to the end of the book. So after I finish editing it, the next thing is to proofread and then to do the juicy parts, publishing stuff. I will try again. I'll try again to finish everything. I want to finish the editing stuff, and then when it comes to the formatting and putting things together to publish, then I can give a particular date. So for my writing, not so much progress, but progress all the same. We celebrate tiny baby steps over here in this part. I also said that I wanted to launch something in March. I was working on something, and it's the ministry called Let Your Hope Live Ministry. I've talked about it on my blog post. I also shared a bit about it last month. I care a lot for this ministry, and I feel as if it's going to bring so much good to the world when God breathes into it. I'll leave the link to Let Your Hope Live Ministries, and you'll be able to see some of the content that is there and a little bit more about what this ministry is about. And we are planning a lot of stuff. I'm hoping that it all works out, that it outlives just one person. And so to end this video, I want to read my Bible and share a verse I was reading earlier and I talked about in my blog post, which I feel as if I can learn from and you guys can learn from also. And that verse is 1 Corinthians chapter 10. And I'm going to start from verse 9. We must not put Christ to the test, as some of them did and were destroyed by serpents, nor grumble, as some of them did and were destroyed by the destroyer. For context, this is referring to the Israelites in the desert. Now, these things happened to them as an example, but they were written down for our instruction, in whom the end of the ages has come. Therefore, let anyone who thinks that he stands take heed lest he fall. No temptation has overtaken you that is not uncommon to man. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability. But with the temptation, he will also provide the way of escape, that you may be able to endure it. Isn't this so comforting? Also, I want to read Hebrews chapter 12 from verse 3. Consider him who endured from sinners such hostility against himself, so that you may not grow weary or faint-hearted. In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding your blood. And have you forgotten the exhortation that addresses you as sons? My son, do not regard lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor be weary when reproved by him. For the Lord disciplines the one he loves, and chastises every son whom he receives. It is for discipline that you have to endure. God is treating you as sons, for what son is there whom his father does not discipline? If you are left without discipline, in which all have participated, then you are illegitimate children and not sons. Besides this, we have had earthly fathers who disciplined us, and we respected them. Shall we not much more be subject to the Father of spirits and live? For they disciplined us for a short time as it seemed best to them, but he disciplines us for our good, that we may share his holiness. For the moment all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. Therefore, lift your drooping hands and strengthen your weak knees, and make straight paths for your feet, so that what is lame may not be put out of joint, but rather be healed. Strive for peace with everyone, and for the holiness without which no one will see the Lord. See to it that no one fails to obtain the grace of God, that no root of bitterness springs up and causes trouble, and by it many become defiled. And I'm just reading this to reflect how trials, how our struggle is not an illustration that we are failing this work of the Lord, but it is an opportunity to press on, to turn our eyes to God for hope, to remember Him as our help. And that's why I continue to emphasize that even when I struggle to meet up to certain things, even when I am not consistent with my goals, even when I am not consistent with how I should serve the Lord with my fervency and burning, like I shouldn't make it about myself, I should make it about Him, to remember that He is the one who grants us hope. He is the one who gives us help in our weaknesses, not to be weary, to understand that the Lord does not give us trials that are beyond our ability, but those trials come so that we can draw strength from Him and move beyond it. Paul said that His power is made perfect in our weakness, and to know that it is not a call to be without weakness, to know that our Christian work is not a call to be without sadness and sorrow sometimes, and struggle and poverty and need, but a call to hold on to Him in all of it, whether in need or out of need. To me, it is the most comforting thing ever, and that's why I keep on emphasizing it, and that's why I put the Bible verse I put in my outro. We'll be reminded of the fact that we have these treasures in jars of clay to prove that it is God working in us. And even when the clay crumbles from time to time, we know that it is the hand of the master potter that is putting us back together over and over again. So thank you for watching. Welcome to March. Goodbye.